are delighted you could make time to be part of this important session on how to prepare for marriage. If you are preparing for marriage or discerning this important step, today's session will provide you with key perspectives, encouragement, and practical guidance to begin your journey with confidence and clarity. I am Jojo, your host for today. This event is brought to you by Jeevan Jala Seva Samiti, a community initiative dedicated to walking alongside families with hope, wisdom, and support. Let me introduce our speakers for today, Dr. Sunil Ninan and Dr. Shanti George. Dr. Sunil Ninan is a senior consultant pediatrician trained at AIIMS New Delhi and holds an MRCPCH from London. He has practiced extensively in Kerala and now lives in Bangalore. His wife, Dr. Shanti George, is also a qualified medical doctor and a trained counselor. Together, they made intentional choices to prioritize their marriage and family alongside their careers, a journey that has shaped both their home and their ministry. For over 2 decades, they have been working alongside couples, sharing insights from their medical background, counseling experience, and real life journey as husband and wife. They are proud parents of Hannah and John, and today they come to us not only as professionals, but as a couple who have lived out the very principles they will be sharing, offering wisdom, encouragement, and practical guidance for those preparing for marriage. Let's welcome Dr. Sunil and Dr. Shanti George as they take us through preparing for marriage. Over to you, Dr. Shanti first, and then Dr. Sunil.
Hello, good morning, and it's so good to see you all here. Thank you so much for your enthusiastic responses. Even as we work with so many young people, we have seen how much there are fears or anxieties regarding marriage. Sometimes what if I mess it up? What if my spouse messes it up? What should I do when I face conflicts or disagreements? All sorts of thoughts keep coming. And this is where the need for getting equipped for a marriage relationship is so important. Many times we tell the young people, see, in order to get a degree, we need to study for maybe 4 years or 5 years or more. And then there's extra training to get more experience. And then finally we get a job. And then on the job also, it could be hands-on training as well. And it goes on, the more you get experience, the more efficient you become. But for entering into a marriage relationship, there is hardly any training, any equipping, any teaching, any mentoring in a lot of lives. So that is where we feel tell the youngsters about, you need to get equipped and get prepared for marriage. So for that, first of all, we need to understand the definition of marriage. What does definition mean? And how can we really understand the importance of marriage? Okay, so marriage relationship is actually a companionship, a relationship based on love and trust, and it requires hard work, and it's an exclusive lifelong relationship between a man and a woman. So we need to understand this, and we need to work on that, because since it's a lifelong relationship, we can't just be in that relationship tolerating things, adjusting, and all those. No, this brings us into the idea of, working hard to make it a success. If it's a lifelong relationship and it's a journey, we learn to do this in the context of marriage. Yes. So, in that, there are many areas where we need to prepare. One is knowing oneself and emotional maturity. See, we are going to know ourselves more and more in the area of marriage, and that would be more of our negative side. How we are selfish, how we are self centered, how we are unforgiving, how much we are unkind. We begin to know all these things about ourselves, and that can be shocking. But if we equip ourselves by paying attention to know ourselves, that would be good, and because that will help us to work on those areas of showing sacrificial love, showing sacrificial care and service, being kind and respectful, being forgiving, being others centered in the context of family relationship, with parents, with siblings, and also in the context of other friends. So that really helps us training ourselves into walking into these areas of love, kindness, patience, self-sacrifice, service, forgiveness, all those things. And we also need to come to a place of emotional maturity and to work on that, because marriage is also not always mushy mushy and a bed of roses. There can be challenges, there can be conflicts, and we need emotional maturity for that. How do we handle discouragements? You will begin to know that you get discouraged very fast. So how do you handle discouragements? How do you handle oppositions or hostility or situations like that? So for that, you need to work on the emotional maturity for that. And this is one area where we need to get equipped. Another very important area is effective communication skills, active listening. So, some of us, based on our personality, can be introverted or extroverted. Now, we may not have learned, depending upon our upbringing and family background, we may not have learned to communicate properly, communicate our love, communicate our own needs or appreciation or whatever it is. We may not have learned to effectively do that. But this is the right time before marriage to develop all that, cultivate all that in the context of other relationships in our family, with our parents, siblings, friendships, other things. Another is active listening. Like I shared earlier, we can be very selfish and we want the other person to understand us, but we may not make efforts to listen to the other person and understand or empathize with that person. To train ourselves and practice active listening is another area where we can, prepare ourselves for marriage. Then there are relationship dynamics. See, in the marriage relationship, one is a male, the other is a female. And even there, the mental makeup is so different. They think differently. There are gender differences. So to understand all those things and to get ready to, to love unconditionally, totally accept a person who is so different from me, who thinks differently from me, and who is brought up in a different background and culture, that involves a lot of relationship dynamics. And then there is the aspect of love languages. There is a book on love languages, and you might have heard about these love languages. Like there is the, how people understand love differently. Their language of receiving or giving love can be very different. We are not uniform, we are not clones, we are different. So, in order to understand our spouse's love language, how they relate, how they see love, that can be different. One person may feel loved if they are appreciated and affirmed. Another person may understand love if they are helped, through acts of service. Another person may understand love when they receive gifts. Another person may understand love through the quality time spent with them. So, in the context of a marriage relationship, understanding the spouse and understanding their love languages and uh, training ourselves to love the other person based on their love language and not based on our language. That is a big learning process. And then there's a big, very important area of finances, financial planning, managing finances. Sometimes people can be extravagant and they may not know how to live within their budget, how to live within their salary. And to learn that is a very important area. And how do I handle loans? How do I give to others who ask? There's budgeting, there's the area of saving, which we need to learn and we need to be taught. Then the very important area, the inevitable thing of conflicts. Conflicts, like we may be knowing, they are inevitable in a marriage relationship, but they can either lead to, distancing, or they can lead to even a closer relationship if handled properly. So learning to resolve conflicts in a healthy way is very important, and learning to forgive and understand the other person and let go is so very important in a marriage relationship. And this is not just important in the context of marriage, but in the context of any relationship, parent child, brother sister, friends, anybody. This area of forgiveness and understanding always contributes to a healthy relationship. Then there is the area of roles and responsibilities. Some many times conflicts arise because there's not there's no clarity between about the roles and responsibilities between the husbands and the wives. So it is important that people learn to understand each other's roles, and the area of shared responsibilities and teamwork. Sometimes especially in the Indian culture, because it's patriarchal, the men may not want to uh, share in the household responsibilities. They may forget that it's teamwork, or the women may not want to do things that it could be considered the male domain. Now those things needs to be removed, and to understand that we are a team, and for that each person needs to equip themselves, train themselves, especially in the area of household responsibilities. It's very important, and to understand that it's a teamwork. Then there's a very important area of building a support system. So we are not lone rangers. Nobody was created to be a lone ranger. We are created to connect with each other. So even as the spouse should be the most important person in anybody's life, building a support group and a nurturing relationship with family and friends is so very important, and they act like a safety net when there are conflicts or there are difficulties arising within a marriage, and they can in fact help to navigate them into a clearer and closer marriage relationship as well. So the final thing that I want to say is the area of mentoring. If young people before they get married are being mentored by wise and mature people who can be real examples for them, that would be really good. And if these mentors can journey with the young people even after they are married, and journey with them in their life of parenthood and everything, that would be really good. These wise, mature people, their lives can be real examples. You can learn through their successes, their failures as well. So, mentoring is one important area which is really helpful and beneficial for equipping ourselves for marriage. So, in conclusion, I want to once again reiterate, marriage is not a one-time moment, it's a journey. So many times people can think that too much about, how to look good for the wedding day and too much planning and then stop there. But that marriage ceremony, it's not a destination, it's the start of a journey. And that has to be kept in mind. And through that journey, we get sharpened, we get molded, and we can become more beautiful. And for that, preparation is a key. Preparation and building good foundations is a key to a strong and healthy marriage. And may you be helped through all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shanti. Um Shanti always tells me, and I mean, me means in front of me to so many people, that how the preparation is so important. You know, uh, in the society, in our society, I have seen many people saying something like this. So they see a guy who is very irresponsible and pretty childish in his behavior. And then some people say, इसका शादी करवा दो, ठीक हो जाएगा. So their thinking is the reverse. That this guy is irresponsible, this guy is childish, this guy is still dependent on their parents, papa, and they think that once they get married, some miracle will happen. Well, rarely, miracles happen, rarely, but most of the time miracles won't happen. And unless people prepare themselves mentally and in various ways of being disciplined, being independent, and or many of the things which Shanti told, I think many people are going to have a rough time. They can always learn things, but they will learn things the hard way. Now, let me come to very, very interesting and may I say pretty challenging topic of choosing a marriage partner. Now, this is an attempt to help our young people. Why I say that is I have a lot of compassion for our young people, and there are quite a few people who are actually ignorant of what to do. They don't know what to do, and they just do something. They just end up either under parental pressure or under some emotional thing. They just choose something and do something, and later on they say, I didn't know what to do, etc., etc. So this is our attempt from JJSS to help the young people in India. People from abroad can also say it, but this is with an Indian context in mind, to help in choosing a marriage partner. Well, your spouse matters. Choose wisely. We are living in the days of Amazon. I mean, I know people who order things, and then I sometimes ask, why you ordered this? Oh, okay, I will see. If it is not working, I will return. And there is a returns policy also. No, but this marriage thing is not going to work that way. We cannot say that, oh, I thought this was this, and therefore I chose this, and now this quality is not good. Let me return. There's no going back. Okay? So we have to choose wisely. There are a few categories of marriages based on how the spouse is chosen. Now, this is a very, what I'm going to say, the 4 categories is an academic thing. In general, we know that there are 2 types of marriage: arranged marriage, love marriage. Well, these guys have made it into 4 categories. Please look at it. So it's a spectrum. So one is the forced marriage, forced arranged marriage. The individuals, that is the guy and the girl, they are neither consulted nor do they have any say before the marriage. So that's a forced arranged marriage. There's one other category of marriage, and that is consensual arranged marriage. That is, the parents or guardians, they select, okay? Then the particular individuals, they are consulted, who they also like, and then finally the marriage happens. The difference between number one and number two is, in number one, the individuals have no say. They cannot say no. But in second category, they have the power to say yes or no. Then there is self-selected marriage, where the individuals select, and then they involve the parents or guardians who give consent. So here, the parents can say no in 3. But in the fourth category, that's it. The guy has chosen or the girl has chosen, and no matter what the parents say or guardians say, they are going to get married. Now, I want you all to respond in chat which category of marriage, which category you would like to get into. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Well, let me see. Yes, please type in. Which one? Let me see. Most people are in which category? Well, 2 or 3, 2. Okay, interesting. Well, in our family, we have told that both 2 and 3 would be okay. So either it comes from the parents, but the child has to agree, or they can select, but then we have to agree. Agree or not agree, I mean, we have to get involved in that. So according to me also, I think 2 and 3 are both a good way of going about things. In India, as most of you would be knowing, just this is a statistic, 2018 survey of 160,000 households. So it's a pretty good study. 93% of married Indians said that theirs was an arranged marriage. And only 3% had a love marriage. I would say that fourth category. And then another 2% described there as a love come arranged marriage. So in India, that's the situation. This is 2018, 7 years back, and things are changing. More and more people are going for the category 3 and some even category 4. Well, another interesting statistic is the lowest divorce rate in the world are in cultures with high rates of arranged marriages, like Amish culture of US, Hindus in India, and ultra-Orthodox Jews of Israel. Some people would say that these lower divorce rates are because they're not allowed to divorce. That can be said, but this is a fact, okay? Because those who get through arranged marriage, they have more family support, and for them, marriage is more like a commitment, and in any way you have to be committed throughout life. I would say that honoring our parents is a very important thing. Honor your parents. Now, honor parents doesn't mean that say good morning every day and touch their feet every day. That may or may not be there. But marriage is one of the most important decisions in any person's life. So imagine not involving the parents in the most important decision of your life. Would that be honoring the parents? You see, sometimes we go from one extreme to the other. So there was one extreme where parents would choose somebody and they would not even ask their son or daughter anything, and they would say, you better get married because this is what we want. So that's one extreme. Now think of the other extreme, where the son or the daughter just goes and finds a person and just decides everything, and then finally comes and tells the parents that this is your future son-in-law or daughter-in-law. So they are not even consulted. That's the type 4 of the thing. So I think this is a very good way to honor parents, to take them into confidence in one of the most important decisions of your life. I want to quote from a very wonderful verse in the Bible, which I have spoken to so many young people in this world, that there's the following. It's from the book of Proverbs. It says, charm is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Well, at the outset, let me say, you can even put a man who fears the Lord, he shall be praised. So it's not just a gender-specific verse, I feel, but the important point here is charm and beauty are the ones which usually we get attracted by, isn't it? That's true. But that can be deceitful and that can be vain things. But the important thing is whether that person has a reverential fear of God and has a true relationship with God. And that's, I think, a very important criteria. So I would like to tell young people, don't give too much weightage for outward appearances. So what are some of the outward things which we look for is beauty, physique, tall, dark, and handsome, that kind of thing. Then education, salary. Well, are they not important? I would say they are important, but how much weightage to give to it is the issue. We must look for inner beauty. And inner beauty may not be clearly visible. You need to have a particular eye to look at it. And more weightage must be given to the character, the attitudes. Now, what are some of the character attitudes? When they are not being watched. See, when a person is being watched, they can be very nice, but how do they behave when they're not being watched? So that's a very important thing. And a good testimony from reliable, mature people is a great plus point. You see, I talked about not going by outward appearance. I told about looking at the inner beauty. Now, these are things which are not easily identified. You cannot just meet a person and just even ask them, how do you look inside? That would be funny. You have to know whether that person, how is their integrity? Are they faithful? Are they kind? And, some of those characters, we won't know. But imagine, an uncle or an auntie who is a mature person, is a reliable person. I mean, they have no vested interest in that person getting married. And now they say, you know what, this guy or this girl is a gem or wonderful person. I have watched this person for last 5 years, and I can say that this person is a good person. If you are able to get a good testimony like that from some reliable, mature people, I feel this should be given a lot of weightage. Okay. And I said they should have no vested interest in the sense that girl is not getting married and everybody is desperate and they want to put the girl on some guy, and therefore this person is saying, the girl is good, get married. No, they should have no vested interest. Yeah. What about, in the selection, what should be the role of dowry? I would say that the unfortunate fact in India is dowry is one of the main considerations of many, many people regarding whom they should get married. In fact, the highest, bidder, they look for who is offering the highest dowry. It is a sad, sad reality. In fact, from JJSS, we would like to conduct one full session on dowry and all the implications of it, and then what about inheritance? And there's so many issues regarding that. But all I can say is, I have told to many people, if my daughter, for my any proposal comes, and if somebody says, duh, I would say, get out. That's the kind of attitude which I have for dowry. Of course, for our children, for the children, parents are willing to give their inheritance or whatever, but not as a kind of a bargaining point for whether they should get married to any particular person or not. So, in fact, I would say dowry thing, this can be a good screening method. Those who are demanding dowry, don't get married to them. This I'm telling to the ladies. To the guys, I would like to tell in the longer, in another session about dowry. Okay. So, in our choosing a spouse, what is the role of KKHH? Now, some of you are wondering, what is KKHH? Well, KKHH is kuch kuch hota hai. So many people, they want to get married to a person. They're looking for chemistry, So they are that feel. And most of the movies glorify this, that butterfly feeling, that feeling of warmth, that tachycardia. Those are not from medical background, let me say. Tachycardia means increased heart rate when you are seeing or meeting or even thinking about that person. And the whole night you are thinking about that person. Morning you wake up with that. And if you have that, you think, yes, I'm going to get married. Well, what do I think about KKHH? I would say, well, this can be an okay criteria, but this is not an essential criteria, number one, according to me. And this is not a reliable criteria, according to me. Why it's not an essential criteria? Because at the end of the day, a marriage, the foundation of a good marriage is not romantic love. You cannot be romantically loving your spouse the whole of your lifetime. And what if there is not much romantic love? What if you feel like kicking your spouse? Then how your marriage will last? So, on the other hand, a person may not have that KKHH, but feels okay, and they are saying, okay, I want to commit to this person, and they move on. And then later, after marriage also, they can have KKHH, Okay. And why is it, so I said it's not a essential criteria. Secondly, it's not a reliable criteria. You have kuch kuch hota hai with one person. Another person, more beautiful, more smarter comes, you may have more kuch kuch hota hai with that person. Then how can you decide like this? You tell me. So it is not that you will get attracted only to one person in this world. Is it? You tell me. Is it that one male will get attracted only to one other female in this world, or vice versa? If that was the case, there would have been no adultery in this world. So if one person can have kuch kuch hota hai with many people, then that cannot be a reliable criteria for whom to get married to. My next advice to the youngsters would be, don't look for a perfect person. See, we may not agree to this, but actually most people are looking for a perfect person, in the sense they should be nice, they should be this, they should be this, they should be that. And, that's why there's so many breakups, I feel. Because after some time, they are becoming a little closer in any dating relationship. They will find some negative things. And then they'll break up. don't look for a perfect person. Remember, you are not perfect. Okay? So if you are not perfect, how come you are looking for a perfect person? Next. Now, if you found a perfect person, that person is most probably a good actor. You see? And sooner or later, you will find out that person is not really perfect. You see? And you will be disappointed. So please don't look for a perfect person. Okay? Please don't look for a perfect person. Another good criteria to look for is if that individual, whom you want to get married to is brought up in a good family atmosphere and values, give some weightage to that. Why do I say so? Because a good upbringing means it is not for 1 or 2 days. Something has got ingrained in that person. And most likely that person will continue in that. So this point is a very important point. But I would not put it as a mandatory thing because there are exceptions. Because there are people who are from broken families, drunkard father and domestic violence and all of this, but the children turn out to be pretty good also. So, so this criteria, according to me, is a positive one if it is there. If it's not there, it is not a negative one, provided that person, the other criteria are kind of fulfilled. Okay. Now, another advice which I want to give to our young people is, you guys in your 20s, 30s, you are intelligent. And in certain matters, I would say you are smarter than your parents, especially in the modern gadgets and various other things. So you know many things, but please be humble. Please involve little older people also in the decision making. The thing is, this gray hair nowadays, in Bangalore and all, people in their 20s are also getting gray hair to water and everything. But generally, gray hair, comes at a little older age. And by that time, most people have had many experiences in their lives and they have learned many things. So if you involve, especially your parents and maybe uncles or some mentors type of people which Shanti was referring to, it would be really good. Gray hair can be an advantage. Sometimes if their attitudes are not good, it may be a disadvantage, but generally it's an advantage. Well, now the big question. I like this person. I feel that I can get married, but I want to be a little bit more sure. I want to know that other person. Well, this is called dating. The definition of dating would be you are intentionally drawing closer to one person with a view to find out whether that person would be make for a good spouse for you. All other types of coming together I call like hanging out. Some people hang out like that. In Hindi, you may even say just masti kar raha type. That I won't call as dating. Dating is pretty intentional. Now, the question is, how effective is dating in finding out a spouse? I would say it is a little effective, but there are a lot of limitations of dating. So if at all you want to know a little bit more about a person, I would say, yes, it's good to meet and talk. And but what do you want to know? I have been married for 27 years with Shanti. let me tell you, I'm still knowing. Not that we have many secrets which we are one by one revealing, but to know a person, human beings are complex people. It's not easy to know a person, and you can know another person only to the extent they are opening themselves up. And in dating, I don't think that people are really very open or can be very open. We see the guys, they're so nice. Hello, how are you? They opened the door. Oh, yesterday you sneezed. How is the sneezing? No, because this very same guy, when he gets married, forget about sneezing, big back pain and all, he may not even ask later on. So we may not really be able to know beyond a point about the inner beauty or how is that person. So that's the limitation of dating, and we are all actors. It's just that some are good actors, some are not very good actors, but I think we are all actors, and we know how to really act before other people. So that's a limitation. Okay. So if you keep that limitation in mind, my personal opinion is a limited dating. Few times with some particular things you want to know and ask and say is good. It would be a good idea. So I want to end my talk by giving you a checklist. Okay, what are some of the things which are good to talk and ask about with the person who are going to meet? Of course, what's their name, what's their age, height, their photograph, or you are of course seeing with your eyes. So physical appearance and their education status and their family background and what work they are doing. Those things you already know. Okay. So what apart from the basic data you want to know? Well, number one, it is good to know about their belief in God and the extent of their belief in God, because at the end of the day, when you come close to a person, this is one of the major things which you are going to, which is going to affect your relationships with one another. So many people say, oh, your belief in God is something, your belief in God, and that's okay, but we can be together. Well, maybe for some time, but ultimately our world views, if it is clashing with another person's worldview, the way they look at life, the way they look at things, sooner or later there will be a lot of conflicts if in this point number one there is not a reasonable convergence on this. Number two, it's good to talk about what is the overall mission in life. Mission means, what do you want to do with life? Why are we living? What is there any specific things which you are burdened about or you want to do in life? Because that's going to even determine various major decisions about where they are going to be, what they are going to do. So it is good to discuss with each other and then see whether there is some kind of a meeting point or whether there's some sort of a convergence. It's also good to talk about the relationship with parents. How is it? Why I wrote this third point is some people are over attached to their mothers or in some case fathers, and quite a few of the problems in married life is because either the guy or the lady, they are over attached to their parents, and then these parents interfere even after marriage, and that's not a good thing. Overall respect and overall honoring parents is wonderful, but over attachment is not at all good. It's good to talk about career aspirations, and especially in this day and age when the women are equally, into careers. So then, what about family and all those things? Little bit at least has to be clarified at the beginning. What about the preferred geographical location of future stay? Because there are people who want to be in India and serve people of India, but there are some other people who are saying, let's go to Australia and I want to be there because that's where my parents are and I want to stay there. Well, this is a very major thing and it has to be clarified at the beginning. Otherwise, it can lead to conflicts, unnecessary conflicts. See, conflicts are anyway going to be there, okay? Now, this checklist is not so that I will make sure there will be no further conflicts in life. No, these are the so that some major things are sorted out, and that's the only reason why I'm giving you this checklist. Well, it would be very nice to know whether this particular person is forced into getting married. And this happens particularly with guys. Some of them, they don't want to get married. Then, get married. And finally, their guys say, okay, I'll get married. But he doesn't want to get married. And there are certain women also who don't want to get married. And the society, people are sitting on their head, And finally, they say, okay, I can't, I'm tired of saying no, so I'm getting married. See, if you get married to such a person, it is going to be a pain in your life. They don't want to get married, okay? So better not to get married to such persons who are forced. Another very, very important question that, see, people can have had some crush with somebody or some brief, attraction to somebody. But was there any serious relationship and sustained relationship with somebody? Now, if that serious sustained relationship was in the past, that's okay. But are they presently in touch with that person? When was the last contact? Because if they are still in touch with that person, and if they are still in contact till pretty recently, that means they have not yet moved away from that, and that can affect, their marriage. But it is really possible that, people were in some kind of relationship and some kind of, they got unfriended or whatever, they've, separated, and now they have gotten over it and they are ready for marriage. So that's also possible, but this has to be clarified. Well, sexual orientation, this was not a very important issue a few decades back, but definitely this has to be clarified. There are, we know of people, that guy got married, and after marriage, he was gay, and the lady came to know only after marriage. Then if he was gay, why he got married? See, so if these are married to this lady, so therefore these things have to be clarified, okay? Now, desires regarding having children. Nowadays, there are people who say, I don't want to have children. So imagine the lady not wanting to have a child and the guy wanting to have a child. And then if they are getting married, this will create conflict. So these are very, very important points which can be. I can keep on talking about things, and maybe you can add few other very important things in the checklist which I have not added. But the ninth question is like, we can ask the other person, you can ask the other person whether there is anything major which they would like to say before the final decision is made. Because depending on the context, it can be anything. So this is a sweeping question. For example, somebody has a major illness. So they had a bipolar disorder, imagine. And bipolar disorder is a psychiatric disorder. So they had a disorder, now they are okay. And they are not saying it. After marriage, they again have an attack. I'm not saying people with bipolar disorder should not be married. All I'm trying to say is you should know it before marriage. Otherwise, it would be like a cheating. And imagine a person who has not told this, or they have convulsion. Okay. A person with convulsion, what's the problem in getting married? No problem in getting married. But they hid it. So if the starting is with some kind of a hiding, and then you start off with the other person feels cheated, and that's a very bad start to the marriage. It can really rock the marriage. That shouldn't happen. If there's a significant debt, that should be told. Some thousand here and there, that's not an issue. But lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees in debt. We know of a very wonderful couple. So this guy, before the proposal came, and this guy told this girl, the thing is, I have this much debt, major debt. Would you still like to get married to me? So he made it very clear. We also got involved in that thing, and we found that the guy was a very nice guy, actually. So they got married, and after a few years, they both worked hard, and now they are debt free. But the important thing is he told it before. You see, or if there is a police case, I mean, not some petty violations, but a major police case or something, whatever. Is there anything major which you would like to say before the final decision is made? So I'm ending this talk by saying, well, finally you make the decision, okay? You make the decision, okay, let me get married to this person, okay? That's it. After getting married, I mean, before getting married, try to know and understand whatever important things you want to know, okay? You want to do a background and check through your relatives or friends or whatever you do. After you decide, you get engaged, that's it. Thank you very much. Now, for good or for worse, whatever it is you have decided, may God help you. You have now decided that, okay, this is the person in the whole of this earth whom I have decided to get married to, for whether in poverty or in riches, whether in health or in disease or whatever, poverty, prosperity, whatever. I'm going to love this person till death parts us. After getting married, please throw away this marriage decision file, and do what? Throw it into the depth of the sea. This is a metaphorically, you don't have to, Bangalore, we are not by the seaside, but you never take back that file. Never re-examine that decision, because there are many people, you know what, I had these 3 proposals. I should have gone for that first proposal. I don't know what I thought, why I didn't choose that. See, now I am into all this trouble. If a person even re-examines their initial decision, that itself is a big problem for the marriage. So, all the checklist, this business and all, this is before marriage, okay? And after you get married, finished, that's it. Thank you very much, So that's the thing which I would like to encourage our young people. It's an important decision. Until now, I have not mentioned one very, very important thing which I would like to tell anybody. And what is that? Well, in this such an important decision in your life, please involve God. Oh God, help me in this important decision. And I'm sure when you seek the face of the Lord, He will surely help in some ways. Okay. Having said that, I am not of the opinion which some ultra spiritual people have. They say they are waiting. They are waiting to hear the name of which girl should I marry, and then they want to hear Pinky. Please. I don't think God works like that. In a rare occasion, that may have happened in some people's life. But generally, that's not the case. Generally, people say marriages are made in heaven. I would say marriages are made in heaven, but you have the role of choosing. Okay? You means you along with your parents or relatives or your people, you have to do the hard work of choosing. Okay, and that can be through your acquaintances, through your friends, even through matrimonial sites or whatever it is. But finally, you have to know that person little bit and then make this big decision. So may God help all of you in your journey forward, and especially in making this very important decision in your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunil and Dr. Shanti, for that inspiring and practical session. So without much delay, let's go to the first question. When is the right time to get married?
Well, I would say that different people can have different ideas about it. As far as age for marriage is concerned, we are seeing a shift of age of marriage. Earlier, people used to get married in the early 20s, but with all this modern day age, and where including the women who are studying and working and career and all of those things are happening, the age for marriage is shifting more and more. So now people are getting married in the late 20s and even 30s, and some people even don't want to get married. So what is the right age for getting married? On one hand, a person should be old enough physically. So that's why there's a legal age for marriage. So in India, a guy has to be about 21, a girl has to be about 18 to get married. So that's the lower point. Now, at the age of 21, generally with our kind of education, 12th is over by around 18, and then after 3 years, you finish just your graduation. It's very unlikely that you get a decent job by that time. And also, you need to be a little bit more, mature in the, So, therefore, 21 may not be a very great time to get married. So, maybe a little. So, if you have to, especially professional degrees, engineering or MBBS and everything, there would be more time required. So I would say around 24, 25 would be a good time, or even after 25, 26, that time. But then there is a question that as you grow older, you will become more and more mature. So the graph. So with age, you keep maturing. But after some time, it will plateau off. You will not keep on. Then you cannot wait for only maturity, because then other factors come in also. With regard to women, there is another very important point, and I'm not being sexist when I say this. I'm being just based on scientific data. Women have menarche at the age of around 13, 14, okay, and they have menopause at around 45 or so. In other words, their reproductive period is between this age. So we have roughly these 2 periods. In between, only the women can have children. And one of the important reasons why people get married is not just for companionship, it's also to have children and future generations. So even as a pediatrician, I can tell you, a neonatologist, I've been involved with so many women, and they're having children in the sense. The maximum age of fertility for women is in their early 20s. This is scientific data. And the older the woman grows, the lesser the chance that she will have a child. Okay? So a woman who gets married at 30 has a lesser chance of conceiving. Now, lastly, suppose a person wants to have 2 children. So immediately after marriage, you won't have a child. If everybody was going to have a child immediately, then there was no need of all these infertility clinics, you see. So imagine a lady gets married at 30 and they spend some time together, husband, wife, She conceives at around 31. Then 9 months after conception, you will have a child. These are all basic facts. So at around 32, she will have the first child. Then immediately she cannot conceive. I mean, technically she can conceive again, but it will not be good for her health. Even doctors say that at least 1 or 2 years gap is a good thing, interval. Then she conceives, so to have a child at 34, 35. So that is why I would say for women especially, this is my personal view, you can differ with me, 25, 26, 27, these are all a good time, because on one hand they will have a kind of a reasonably stable job, and they will be physically also in a prepared, and on the other hand they would not be so old that the men will not want, because once the woman, I'm telling you, once women go beyond the age of 30, the number of available men for them who are willing to marry them definitely decreases. So that is why, while there is, I cannot say this is the age for marriage, it can differ in different cultures also. But generally, we must be wise regarding these things. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. Okay, let's take one more question, also taking the time into consideration. So this question comes from a person who agrees to our 4 types of marriage, and then the general agreement was about the type 2 and 3, rather the encouragement was about type 2 and 3, involving parents. But the question is, what if there are difference of priorities, or maybe cultural differences, when the person is looking for a partner and the opinion of the parents differ? So how do we navigate this challenge?
I would say that it is not easy. As far as possible, I think we must try to go along with our parents and take our parents along in this very important decision, take their interests also. But some parents can be extremely unreasonable, and then I don't think we are bound to obey them. But my point is, as far as possible, we must try to take our parents and reason with them, discuss with them. For example, there are some parents who say, we are from this village, we are from this caste, you must marry here only, and all kinds of this kind of. So what is this difference on? Are these differences on some things which you can compromise on? Then it's okay. I would say you have to put something like negotiable and non-negotiable. So there are many negotiable things. I mean, if parents are saying, like, taking another example, I mean, my parents are asking me to wear a blue shirt, and I like this shirt. ठीक है यार, blue shirt भी पहन लेते हैं. I may not, that may not be that. But these are all relatively minor. I can adjust. But there are some major things. For example, imagine I believe in God and I believe in certain things, and my parents are telling me not to believe in God. I mean, those are very major issues. So you have to classify that this difference is it on major issues which you just cannot compromise on, or are there things which you can, it's okay, I mean, you can get over it. So accordingly you have to navigate, and in any case, even if you differ with your parents, you have to honor them. It has to be in an honorable way.
Dr. Shanti, would you like to add anything on the question?
I would like to add that like we talked earlier about cultivating proper communication skills and understanding and listening. So this is also a good opportunity where, you exercise those communication skills and understanding and active listening with your parents as well. And once you get to know what they are saying, and if it really clashes on major things, there is a role of, disagreeing respectfully also. But, as much as possible, trying to understand where they are coming from, what they are desiring, and also as well helping them to come along with your desires, because ultimately you are the person who is going to get married. You are the one who is going to spend your lifetime with one particular person. It's not your parents. So ultimately it's your life. But then, to help them see your perspective also, and to, to bring yourself to a place where you are understanding where they are coming from. And if as much as possible work to, help one another be on the same page or something, that's where all the cultivating proper understanding, active listening, communication also comes into play here as well. Like I said earlier, it's there in every relationship, but on this occasion, in this situation, this is very important. We cannot just keep quiet and expect our parents to understand everything. And we cannot be, too angry with the parents and say, oh, they don't understand anything, that. But there can be a respectful, courteous way of discussing things as well. Yeah. And finally, if things are not working out, respectfully disagree also.
We do have one more question. Doctor, are you okay to take this before we leave? Yes, thanks. What if a partner is not a Christian, but respects us and supports our spiritual beliefs?
Well, the person who is asking this, is that person is a person who is a practicing Christian, is it?
Looks like.
Yes. If that's the case, based on the Bible, it's pretty clear that a person who is a born again disciple of Jesus Christ should not be unequally yoked with another person. It's not a matter of respecting belief or not. See, we should respect everybody. I respect everybody, and they may be believing something else, I may be believing something else. But in marriage, two people are coming together, and I think Shanti said 1 + 1 = 1. Two different people are becoming one. And when you are not in line on the basic thing about the worldview and trusting in God, and then if two people are coming together, that's a recipe for disaster, I would say. It's very important to be one in this basic area.
Thank you, Doctor, for that. Okay, thank you all so much for joining the session today. We hope this session has encouraged and equipped you on your journey.
Well, Jojo, I would say that there are people who have so many other doubts also, things like that. So I would say, when I would tell all of them that we will be uploading this on the YouTube, so they can even put the questions in the comment section, and maybe we can address that. Otherwise, there's no space for them where to send their questions. And yeah, I would request you all that if you have found this session useful, you can forward the link to other guys and girls who you think would be benefiting from this kind of an advice.
Okay. Until we meet for the next session, take care, keep nurturing love, faith, commitment, because that's what makes families thrive. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.